so much stuff that needs to be addressed. And so we just decided, okay, I think it's getting a little monotonous. Everyone's talking about it because we're in that moment of Black Lives Matter and equality and all these different things. And so we're going to touch on certain things. We're going to try to.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. It's really warm in New York, but it's not as humid as it was before. We had like this heat advisory, which is never really fun. But then I'm like, I really shouldn't be complaining because I remember a few months ago, I was like, I can't wait for it to be warm. And then, of course, it gets warm and you're like, oh, I can't wait for it to get cooler again. Can never be happy, right? We have a really awesome guest tonight. Michael and Lawrence from Black Gay Weddings. Here we go. They're going to join us and talk about all that they're doing. I'm so excited. They are doing so many cool things. One in the wedding space. Two. There you guys are.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad you guys could join. You guys are, look at you, you're all like decked out. You look all nice. I love it. Representing Black Gay Weddings. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So now you guys are based in LA, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So why don't you start out and just tell everyone who is not familiar with you guys, kind of your background and what led you to kind of start out thinking like, hey, this is something that we need to do.
Oh, well, you want to start, Lawrence?
You tell it so much better.
He says I tell it better. Okay, so we got married in October of 2017, October 14th, 2017, because he swears I don't remember the day we got married. But I said it right this time. October 14th, I got married in Las Vegas. We had a beautiful wedding. Shout out to Nikita Floral and Emily, the Vegas wedding planner. She was amazing. Emily Reno, we love her. She's like our family now. So is Randy at Nikita Floral. Anywho, we had this fabulous wedding at the SLS in Las Vegas.
Now the Sahara again.
It's now the Sahara again. They changed the name. Anyway, we had over like 140 guests, I believe. We had.
Goodness.
It was beautiful. It's actually on our IGTV page. So if you guys want to see our wedding, it's Lawrence and Michael. Go to BGW TV, and we have tons of beautiful weddings, ours included in that, and we just keep adding them every day. But anyway, let me stop talking about that. This all started out, we were featured in a publication. We were featured in a few publications and blogs, and in some of those blogs and magazines, we were the only same-sex couple, which was interesting. However, the one particular publication that we were a part of, we noticed we got a lot of hate from, as like I would like to say, the straight people or heterosexual community that didn't embrace same-sex couples. We call them straight haters. Basically, and just to break it down, there were comments like "die fag," "we hate gays,"
"hope you get AIDS,"
"this is unnatural." And it was traumatizing, and so
that's horrible. And I mean, it's not like this is not very long ago. Like this is
no, 2017. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, actually, the article came out in 2018, so we got married in 2017. But we got attacked the day after the
fact,
wedding.
Yeah,
and then also after the publication came out. They were,
oh my goodness.
They were brutal. And he had to talk me off the ledge because I was getting ready to lose my good government job. I was going to get phone numbers, addresses, and so he had to talk me down.
So that's what happened, and from that we birthed Black Gay Weddings. Because the one thing that we did notice, looking at other mainstream
media
LGBTQIA plus magazines, we didn't see a lot of people who looked like us, that resembled us.
Right.
We only saw people who lacked melanin, let me say it that way. There were no people of color. So I think I thought that was interesting.
Called it melanin deficient.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
Deficient.
And it was a little shocking, for me. And at our wedding, we have friends of all ethnicities. We love everybody. We're everybody that comes into our home, and we embrace everyone, no matter who they are or where they're from or what they look like. Love, as you know, is love, and we just love everybody. And that's a practice of ours. And so Black Gay Weddings was birthed from hurt, and a little bit, and I can say a little bit of trauma, because it was traumatizing.
And for me, it was like more so revenge, because I actually wanted to make sure that we get even by being better than they are. So
right.
Yeah. I love
it. Representing the whole community of color within the LGBT community, because sometimes we get left out.
Yes.
You know, not sometimes, a lot of the times. You know, with this whole Black Lives Matter movement, and a lot of with even with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of Black, lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual people said, well, where do we fit in that grand scheme of things? Because there's a lot of homophobia within the African American community as well. Right. So
yeah.
And we were featured on a couple of other sites, media outlets, you know, and we looked and we were like the only couple of color. And then as we continue to look, there, you know, there's this division, you know, within the community itself. It's like, you know, gays, your future here. Lesbians, your future here. Bis, your future. There's just so much division. And at Black Gay Weddings, we were like, okay, let's bring it all together. Let's bring our entire community. Let's unite our community. So
we feature interracial couples as well. We don't get a lot of submissions. I don't know if that's just because we know you're out there. We're here. You know, we'd love to feature you. You know, if you've got a story, we definitely want to tell it.
Exactly.
So we don't want to leave anyone out, from the Latinos, everybody. We, you know, even
it.
though it says Black Gay Weddings, we are inclusive of everyone.
Yes, we are.
But it's just the fact that we don't get to see us at all, and that to us was a problem.
Yeah, so that's like a clarion call or a beacon. Hey, look, you know, Black Gay Weddings is here, and you can expect to see us there, but you can also expect to see everyone else as well.
But I love that, because I think it's so important. Grinsome 3 says, love the energy. We're not begging for acceptance. Oh, we demand respect. Won't forget it with love. And
we'll go back and read it.
Yeah. Well, but listen, it's one of those things that, like, it hurts my soul. Like, it hurts my heart when I hear that, you know, that there's any possible space where people are not being loved and represented, specifically in the wedding industry, because it's all about love. So it's like, if we can't celebrate love, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, and that's
love. How does that even work, right? Doesn't make sense.
It's like beyond me. I'm like, this is the one thing. It's like, out of every other industry, like, we have to be the ones who are like leading the way, because it's like, we believe in love so much. This is what we do for a living. Like,
right.
And so I love that you guys are filling that void, because I think it's so important. I mean, it's one of those things, like, you hear people who are like, oh, well, there's already this or there's already that that's addressing this part or that part of representation, or just support in terms of whether it's the LGBTQIA community or the Black community, or, you know, BIPOC. Like, there's so many different things, but it's like, the whole point is that if we all are helping each other be able to lift up each other and show representation in so many different ways, like, it doesn't just, it's not like there's only one spot, like, oh, you know, it's taken. It's like, the more publications, the more opportunities that people have to be shown and represented. Like, I think that's so beautiful and needed. Like, it's so important.
It is. It is.
So I love that. I love that you guys are doing that. Now, talk a little bit about, I love your webinar you guys are having. It's a 3-part webinar. Is that right?
Well, it started out as 5-part.
He's getting ready to tell on me.
And then, you know, someone was like, it's too much. I can't do it. I was like, okay, well, all right. So let's just do the second part, and then I'll convert the last 3 parts into something totally different. So it's
still 5 parts.
It's still 5 parts,
but
you know, yeah, I had to turn the last 3 parts into vendor session, a pre-website rollout and a launch party. So
we're gonna party.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
a virtual launch party.
I love
So can I tell my story, my little 2 cents on that?
Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
so what we found out, we were doing these focus panels with wedding professionals, which you saw. We had Shonda Daniel, shout out to Shonda, Marrying and Absolutely Blooming. Our sister Kim at NOLA Event Planner. Look, I'm shouting out everybody. The Flower Brun, who you just had, and April at Tool and Tinsel.
Yes, yes.
And of course, we cannot forget Jordan. Oh
I
my
love
God.
Jordan.
Who doesn't love Jordan Maney? All right, she's the best. But anyway,
Don't forget Byron.
Oh, and Byron, who joined us from Southwest.
Yes.
He was great too. So if I left somebody out, I'm sorry. But anywho, we were having these focus panels before we would get together because we wanted everything to flow and just be organized. And we just like, it was like we opened up Pandora's box and all this stuff. And it was like content overload. It was so much information. I was like, wait, there's no way we can talk about, I mean, we could, but we'll be there all day. And then even 5 panels is not enough to even to bring that much, because it's so much stuff that needs to be addressed. And so we just decided, okay, I think it's getting a little monotonous. Everyone's talking about it because we're in that moment of Black Lives Matter and equality and all these different things. And so we're going to touch on certain things. We're going to try to educate so everyone can leave with something that is of value that they can carry back to their business, or couples that we're even watching. So that's what happened. But moving along.
Yeah, there's a 12-part series coming soon. So
You're right.
I'm gonna let you guys work that out, and
We'll call you.
yeah. Oh my goodness, I love that though, because it's and this is, I think, one of the most important things that I applaud you guys so much for doing, because it's one thing to see that there's a need, right? Like you felt it, you saw it, even though you were, featured, there was still so much division and hate. And, it's hard when you're trying to celebrate love, and your love in particular, and people are just trying to drag you down, and they're just hating, like literally hating on love, which is, again, it's like, why are you even on a wedding website? Like, I don't get that.
Who does that?
Who does that? Who does? I don't know. But, but you went that step further, and you were like, you know what? We need to create something that's a specific space, and it calls out the intersectionality of being gay and being Black, which I think is important, because, again, just like you said, that's where we have so much power. We have so much, it's amazing to me, because it's like, just because someone is Black doesn't mean that they aren't, that they are in full support of gay marriage. And just because someone is white doesn't mean that they, aren't in full support of, Black weddings. There's there's so many different parts that it's like, again, like being able to fill that void. I love that you guys are doing that, because showing the intersectionality of love is important, so that people know, like, I can go there and see myself, and I can go there and see how I love that. I love that. I think that's so awesome. So now you guys because you just launched, is that right?
No. Well, the website will not launch until our anniversary, October 14th. That's
3 years.
We've
been married 3 years.
To help them remember the day.
Whatever.
So yes, we'll launch on October 14th. But there was something that I wanted to touch on. It's the media outlets that are out there. Now that we're a media company, we believe that you have to be guardians of the content that people are giving you. If they're giving you their love story, their sacred, their most passionate and sacred gift of love, if they're giving it to you to actually feature, you have to be the guardians of that. You have to protect them. You can't allow people to drag them. You can't allow people to hurt them. You have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not, then why are you in the business in the first place?
Yeah, you're totally right. Because if you're trying to celebrate and you not only want to celebrate just in general, whether it's black weddings, gay weddings, but then you're literally putting them out there to be hate, like to be, that just doesn't make sense. Like it's literally the opposite. Like
Exactly.
have to be guardians. You have to be
Right.
good allies. You have to be friends. You have to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to really be a good human to the people that you're showing and promoting and hopefully loving on. Like that's the point.
Right.
Absolutely.
And to spin off of what you just said, the thing that we wanted to hear was we realized that when you give your, you know, your optics, your beautiful memories over to a publishing company, a media company, that it's just like I compare it to being a politician. It's like when you run for office and you get the job. Not everybody's going to agree with your platform or your views, or not everybody's going to be with you. But here's the thing. You got to be there for everyone. So you got to stand out, and we felt like those people should have come out and said, we do not tolerate this kind of behavior. This will not, and that was never said.
Right.
That was never said. So we were looking for that, but it just didn't happen. So we created a safe space where couples of color can come and know that, and we have a whole block team. We have a team of people who censor and filter our page. And if we see anything negative that should not be, you are gone. There are no questions asked.
The block squad.
The block squad.
I love it.
Yes.
I love
And they're a
it.
team of allies and friends of ours who are also advocates as well, and other couples that, you know, so.
That is fantastic and genius. I mean, that's first of all, Block Squad, that's genius right there. And totally genius. But it's also it's so like it's one of those, it's kind of like one of those duh things, like, well, yeah, like if you say that you are celebrating love and you're celebrating this couple, like you should be the ones to be like on the front lines being like, you know, haters are not coming at you. Like I'm blocking you. Like I'm part of the Block Squad. Like we're not gonna and it's like, you know, like get back. Like you're not like, I don't know. It's just, I think that's so fantastic. And I am so sorry that you guys had to go through that, but I'm so glad that, you know, like that you've come out of that with such beauty and genius again, to be able to really,
you're so
like,
sweet.
but to support people, like to understand. I think that's one of the things that it's unfortunate that so many wonderful and needed things come out of hardship and trauma and sorrow, but the, you know, the really truly strong geniuses that come through that are able to really present it in a way that's, it's loving and compassionate, and it's celebratory like it should be, you know.
Right.
So that's so good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, there's I'm former military, so you know,
Oh, Lord.
there's this saying that, you know, that we always, you know, had, I mean, someone else said it, but in the military we use it religiously, and it's like, that which doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And
Yeah,
they definitely made us stronger.
For sure. He was so like, we have to do something. And we were like, what can we do to give back to our community? And I always say that my husband goes above and beyond, and not to brag on, yeah, I'm going to brag on him just for a minute. He is so, such a smart guy. I really did marry a smart guy. Sometimes I think he's too smart. And he decided, you know, he had just finished school. He had just gotten his second degree. Second master's, and he went back for a third master's in digital journalism because he wanted to make sure that we went about this the right way. And even though he has an extensive background in graphics and videography, and he's worked with all these people who we're not going to name, but he just does everything with excellence. And I knew that this was going to be a great, I'm very proud of him. And I don't think he gets to hear me say that enough. We do fuss. We are normal. You know, all couples do it. Even we fuss about things with Black gay weddings, but that's because we want it to be the best that we know that it can be.
Yes.
And so, you know, we wake up every morning and we're working. What can we do to be better? And because we really want this to be something that the LGBTQ community, especially those of color, minorities who feel left out, can come and feel like, wow, this is possible. I can have this. I too can find my soulmate. I can find love. And we get those letters all the time. So we love getting those letters.
Wonderful.
So don't stop sending us those.
People are inspired, by what we're doing, and that continues to motivate and inspire us. And when he says we're up literally in the morning,
we are.
I mean, I get up at sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get to it.
Yeah, he's up, and now we're like, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m. What's going on here? But no, we're really dedicated. It's our passion. We do it from the heart. I get sentimental. He laughs at me. A lot of the videos and films that you see on our BGW TV page, I'm in here crying like I know the couple because they're telling their story. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And I just think love is a beautiful thing, and it should never be divided.
I agree. Well said. And I'm like totally with you because I cannot watch wedding videos. When I watch wedding videos, it has to be like at the end of the day, no one's going to see me for the rest of the day because I'm like ugly crying. My eyes are
we can cry together.
It's horrible. I know. Like we can have like this it's like this is like I look horrible, like cry. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like this is I'm like the good thing no one's like gonna see me after this because it's just like horrible.
It's okay.
We're the same.
He does it all.
Yeah, right.
Every
Oh,
other
we're
day, there's a new video comes. Oh, look at this one! Oh my God! He's like, okay, get it together. That's
So now tell me, okay, so if people want to see the 5 to 3 to multi-part series that you guys have, they can go on your YouTube channel and watch that, right?
Right.
If they missed it. Okay. So they can go to that.
Yeah, right now, panel 1 is up there. I'm working on panel 2 to have it up either by tonight or tomorrow morning. And the channel is BGW.TV. So BGW.TV.
Love it. Love it.
We're actually going, and a lot of everything Black Gay Weddings as far as video content will be going there. We're going to be uploading the first episode of BGW Fierce Weddings. So BGW Fierce Weddings episode 1 will be posted this weekend. So go check it out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to be able to watch it until like I'm in bed at night, but but I will watch it.
We do have some beautiful weddings. If you've just gone through our page and just looked, I mean,
yes.
It's just beautiful, just absolutely, just gorgeous, and the couples are so loving. And we've talked to a lot of them in the last few weeks, and it's been wonderful to hear what they have to say.
Right, because a lot of the couples that we're featuring on the website, we've been Zoom calling them and just getting a little more information from them. We're going to be doing a couple interviews and uploading, getting their backstories and juxtaposing that with their actual wedding highlights. So they went from this through this to get to this.
Yeah, because the behind the scenes is always good. Who doesn't like a sneak peek of what really happened? Like the photos were great, but like let's talk about the dog eating the flower girls, stuff like that. It happens. It happens,
yes.
So.
I love it. That's awesome. And I love that because it again celebrates not just the marriage and the wedding, which are all wonderful things, but it celebrates the love and the process and the relationship, which I think is so important, again, for people to be able to see and celebrate, because it's hard to celebrate it if you don't know it and it doesn't feel real to you. So I love that you do that. Love that. Awesome. And so now between like now and October 14th, people can go to your video channel. What else can they do? They can obviously go to your Instagram and view all these beautiful things. If they want to submit, they can go.
Link is in the bio. So
in the bio.
Yeah, our submissions link is there. And for vendors as well, there's a link if you're interested in possibly advertising with us. That there's a link there. If you have interest, we'll get that. What else? There's so much stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on. But, the vendor's presentation will actually have they'll get a sneak peek of everything that's on the horizon. And believe me, there's a lot on the horizon.
Yeah. and we really want to talk to the vendors more. So that's why we're going to do a special segment with just the vendors, because as you know, we were just talking about the vendor who wrote that couple and said, that was a hot mess. But so we want vendors who are genuine and that really, really, we understand that maybe you may not understand everything about our lifestyle and our, the way, we do things, but the resources and the education is available to you if you really want to learn. And if you really want to know how to become a better advocate for our community or a better ally, the resources are there. Yeah. So those are some things that we're going to be talking about with the whole vendors thing, and just all the vendors who, realize that love is love and they believe in equality, and from photographers to pastry chefs to wedding planners to whoever you are, if you're out there, just keep us in mind.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So I have to say, Jordan said hi.
Hi, Jordan. Okay, so I call Jordan Baby Oprah. We call Jordan Baby Oprah.
I love Jordan. Exactly. She is. She totally is. I love it. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Andrew Johnson says, I love your page, getting married myself, and my partner always look forward to seeing what's new.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
And send us those pictures.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Link is in the bio.
I love it. And those are the things too that just exactly what you said, how being an ally, being someone who, again, no one's perfect and we all have things to learn. But I think it's one of those things that when you are an ally and you understand, like, hey, I might not be there yet, but I'm working on it. And I might not understand everything, but that doesn't mean that I should be discriminating or hateful or, or even just, not being open to learning about or being able to love other people. It's like, just because you're not going to marry everybody else's, husband or wife doesn't mean that you can't celebrate them being happy with somebody else. Doesn't matter who that person is, so I love that. That's awesome. And someone just got proposed to. Brian says, love is beautiful. My boyfriend just proposed to me. Yay. Congratulations. Woo! Yes, that's awesome. So now in terms of kind of like where you guys see all the amazing, I mean, obviously you can't tell us everything, but in terms of
you got to sign an NDA.
Yeah, exactly. So but like in terms of kind of like long term, I know that you guys are like wheelhouse of ideas and everything like that. What are some things that people can either come to expect or look for in the future? Are there going to be more webinars? Are there going to be more like things on the video platform? Like what are some of those things that they can look for?
There will be more webinars, because we want to bring the experts and the couples together. Yes. To discuss, the issues that they're facing. There will be a new vendors directory.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There will be a new vendors directory, so that's why we want to bring all the vendors in and talk to them first before, they're going to have to. Yeah, I can't get into the specifics, but it's going to be the LGBTQ bizlist.com. LGBTQbizlist.com. So that's going to be a global directory for our community. So
I love it. Okay, so Daniel's Jerry one, he said, "Can you help us single guys?" And somebody else also earlier said something about like, "Hey, I'm single. I'm bisexual and single and Scorpio, 30 years." So the next thing to do is like you guys can have a dating app.
Yeah, obviously. And we do get a lot of that, believe it or not. And they go, oh my God, what was somebody wrote yesterday to us that they can't watch black gay wedding highlight films before 2 p.m. because they end up dumping?
No, they said before and during the middle of the day, he's going to stop watching BGW during the middle of the day because he ends up drinking his total box of wine.
waiting on his soulmate to show up.
So
I love it.
my response was, we neither condone nor encourage drinking alcohol before 2 p.m. So
we get some really lovely letters, even as far as London and Brazil and Africa. So it's really been great. Yeah.
I love it. You guys are seriously doing such a great job. And
Thank
and
you.
in case you have nothing else to do, you can do that dating app, because clearly there are people
Watch out,
they're
people.
on it.
Here we
They're
go.
like, help me out here. I love
actually,
it.
we have to be modeled after eHarmony. You know, it's going to be a 100-question survey that you have to fill out so that we can get an in-depth analysis of your personality, and then we'll match you based on that. Let me stop.
Okay.
I love
Basically, we need
it.
to, yes, I'm crazy. No, I'm not. No.
Well, if you find yourself bored at 2 a.m. when you wake up, there you go. You can start your it's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
Once the platform kind of takes off and you're really bored, there you go. You could do, I don't know what you call it, black gay.
Right. Yeah,
Black gay.
we'll have to come up with something.
We'll come up with something.
Come up-
Something.
You're
We'll
gonna
work
have
on that.
You're gonna come up with something good, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll bookmark it. Yeah.
I love it. So what do you feel like, speaking of vendors, because you were talking about vendors who support Black gay weddings and the LGBTQI community, what do you think that the best way that they're able to really support and show support to couples and to other vendors that they have, you know, what are some really good ways that they can do that maybe they're not already doing?
Well, I mean, you know, in order to, you know, have us open our wallets, vendors actually have to open up their arms and embrace our entire community before we do that. And they have to market to us. They have to let us know that they exist, and they have to be mindful of the fact that if you're not catering to our needs, if you're calling Michael a bride, you know, when we're sitting there with you, that's a problem. You know, you have to gender neutralize your intake forms and your whole process of dealing with couples. So, you know, be mindful of the fact that you now have 2 ladies in front of you. You now have 2 men in front of you. So you now have 2 trans people in front of you. So what are you going to do with that? You just can't say, well, bride or bride and groom anymore. And that's one of the things that they have to address. What do you want to touch on?
I think you said it well. I mean, you know, so many, I mean, I feel like we've talked about it so much, and it's like, we're in 2020. If you haven't already done those things and started implementing things, then you're really, really behind, and you need to catch up. That's all I have to say. Well, I'm the one that shoots straight from the hip. I don't really sugarcoat a lot. I try to come and be as soft and nice as possible, but at some point, you know, you keep doing the same things. My grandmother says you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results, and that's insanity. So if you know something is not working and there's something that you can do to improve, then do that. And if you're wondering why you're not, you want to cater to, or you want same-sex couples or LGBT members to patronize your business, you have to first show yourself friendly.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
We have an initiative for that too.
that's
right?
coming. Yeah, that's coming. So,
I love it.
a lot, and I mean a lot. I'm
Well, this
working now
is
more than I
why you
ever-
have to wake up at 2 a.m. I mean,
Yeah. Hello.
yes.
All right.
Jordan says, so proud of you, Michael and Lawrence, and you too, Megan. You make me so happy to be part of this industry. Aww.
Oh,
We love Jordan.
We love you
Love
too.
Jordan. Mwah.
Yes.
I think I saw our Auntie Marion, who we've adopted from Dallas, from Absolutely Blooming, who was with us last week. She is a riot, a real, and I mean a real hoot. If you need a good laugh, just call her.
Okay, well, I am always down for a good laugh. I have the
yes,
first
yes.
like second face because like I just have no control. Like if you guys have seen any of my I always choose like the most ridiculous ones that looks really silly and stupid, but because you know I make a lot of silly faces. But Jordan says Marion's okay. Marion, I'm coming for you.
You have to go after Marion, and you got to go after Kim also at NOLA Event Planners, because she is in New Orleans, which is like, you know,
Okay.
she's someone who really embraced us as well, and she really did push us to really pursue this and make this come real. She was one of our major supporters and a real ally. So yeah,
I love that, and that's important. I mean, I think it's so important for people to understand too that, like, it's one of those things, like, you see black gay weddings, you're like, well, yeah, of course, black gay weddings, but it's not so simple as to just be like, yeah, no big deal, I'll just this whole platform, like, you know, no big deal. It takes a lot, and it really takes a lot of consideration. Like, do I want to really devote all of this time? Of course it's important, but is this something that I really want to devote my literally entire life to? Because of how important it is, and to me, as you know, how important it is to you personally. So I think that those are really important questions, especially if there's anyone watching who's like, ooh, I want to start a media platform, or I'm gonna.
It's a lot of work. If you don't have time, don't do it.
If you don't like waking up at 2 a.m,
yeah, but it's worth it.
I encourage you. You can call me at 3 o'clock. 3 a.m.
3 a.m. We'll talk to you.
I love it. But that's what's important, is like understanding that it's not just this like off the cuff, like on a whim, like, oh yeah, we'll start this, it's no big deal. It's like, this is something that you really have to devote yourself to, because of what you want to see in the industry and in the media. I mean, frankly, because it's like, those are images that are going to live forever. And so to be able to put those out there for everyone, I think is important. And on the other hand, like, there's other people who, forget which webinar. There was a webinar where there were a lot of publications on it. And one of the things that they had mentioned was like, oh, well, I don't know where to find those couples aren't, you know, submitting weddings to us, or, you know, whether it was like black weddings or, you know, LGBTQI, like, it's one of those things like, okay, well, if they're not submitting to you, that might be because they don't know if you're going to welcome with open arms. Number one, that's a problem. And number two, if you don't know where, like, you can find everything else on the internet, literally everything else.
Yeah.
You gotta do a little work.
Like I said, the resources are there. It's not that it's not there. It's just that you're not looking for it.
Exactly.
That's what I always say.
Which is so great, because your platform gives people even less of an opportunity for an excuse, because it's like, no, really, it's all right there. Like, you can check it all out, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome. So now are you going to do a print, or is it going to be online only?
Yes.
Eventually, at some point. Right now, with the whole COVID-19 happening, you know, we're just taking things, you know, at a steady pace. But
yeah, there will be a print. Can't tell you exactly when, but there will be a print.
I love it. But
we got some secrets, but you know, can't give you everything. But we'll give you a little something.
Okay. No more. I promise. No more secret spilling.
You're a good interviewer.
I know. So that's really good. I love it, because I think, again, it's one of those things, like, having something that's permanent, like in your hand, permanent is also special.
We love that.
Cool. That's definitely cool. Awesome. Yeah. And so, I mean, what do you think in terms of, like, I guess for vendors? I know that a lot of vendors are like, okay, and the suggestion has gone around, like, okay, so if you don't have any, whether it's LGBTQ plus couples that you're shooting, but you want to shoot more, or, you know, whether it's, you know, just diversifying the couples and having, you know, black couples that you're servicing. So a lot of people are like, okay, well, if you do styled shoots, at least you have some content. Will styled shoots, if people want to submit styled shoots to black gay weddings, is that something that you guys are going to accept, or are you only doing real weddings?
Well,
we have a style shoot.
Yeah, we do have one style shoot, but we say that with a caveat. What we don't want is someone going out and hiring, and I'm a SAG actor as well, so
that's another part. That's a whole other part of his life.
Oh my goodness! What do you not do?
So
Sleep. You do not sleep.
Exactly.
There you go.
We don't want someone going out and hiring actors and models, that are not a part of the community. I mean, we are reaching out to our community, and there'll be BGW challenges, and they'll be sending information in, and they'll be more than happy to participate in lifestyle shoots. So we'll connect, photographers and vendors with people in the community, that would be willing to take part in those. So,
exactly.
And then those are the shoots that we want. I mean, we want genuine lifestyle shoots, and not,
not you hiring two guys from.
I'm not gay, but I play one on BGW TV.
Yeah.
Sky Bobby TV. Can you be a half black couple? So can you be an interracial couple? I'm assuming to be featured. And you said yes, right?
Yeah, we have interracial couples featured. We have like 3 or 4, but we don't get a lot of submissions. I know him. That's our good friend, Bobby. Hi, Bobby. And yes, we will feature your wedding, but you haven't sent me a submissions link. Hello. Love you, Bobby.
I love it.
No, he's like a brother to us, so we can talk to him like that. He gets it.
I love it.
He had a beautiful wedding, by the way. He and his husband live in San Francisco, so they're always in the Castro and doing fun things. I think they were married in the Castro, as a matter of fact. So he goes, he's so funny. But yes, Bobby, send us that link. We ready.
Bobby, I'm going to be watching because I want to see your fabulous wedding. So
it was fabulous.
I'm watching.
It really was.
I'm watching, Bobby. Okay. But I love what you had to say, because I think that's important. Is, again, there's not really a resource. There's certainly not a lot of modeling agencies that have, this is our LGBTQ plus community, that if you're doing any type of shoot like that, these are individuals who you'd want to choose, basically. So I think with the dating app, you can also have a modeling agency. See, because you don't have enough to do. This is what happens.
He actually had a modeling agency some time ago in DC, but this was this was before he met me, and I came across the portfolio, and it was so funny. One of his models ended up, we reconnected it. It was a weird circle, because when we were getting married, I was looking for a makeup artist to do the ladies' faces that were part of our wedding, excuse me. And one of the guys turned out to be one of his models from his company that he had when he was in DC, a modeling agency. What was the name of your company? I forgot.
Strictly Business Fashion 100. Yeah.
Strictly Business Fashion 100. And his name is Neil. And Neil is now acting. I just saw him in some major commercial. I can't remember the commercial right now. Don't give me Neil. But Neil ended up being the makeup artist. So we started talking. He's like, I think I know your husband. And I was like, what do you mean? How do you know my husband? He was like, no, I worked for him. And I was like, you did? And then I went, oh my gosh, you're the guy in his portfolio. And so I pulled out the old book, and there Neil was. So I was like, that is most definitely you.
That is like full circle. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like, you can't make that up.
That's right. He was laughing because he hadn't seen those pictures in like years, right? Yeah. And he goes, wow, that was me. Look at me. I look good. So yeah, he has a lot of traits that he, I'm just a plain old guy.
No, he's not. Not by a long shot.
I'm simple.
Listen, you can't be with someone if you're like one spectacular, the other one's just as spectacular, because you can't. There's no unequally yoking. Like it's one, like
I don't know if I would say I was spectacular. I do okay.
I'd say spectacular. Definitely spectacular. Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, you guys, seriously, you guys are fantastic. I want to reach really big hugs and like. And then like we can watch your channel together and like drink.
Yes, Popcorn and wine.
And then there'll be a real launch party.
We would love to have you be a part of that.
I would love to be there.
The virtual, yes, but there's actually going to be a real launch party for something coming up that we're going to have to tell you about after you sign the NDA. So
I will sign it 5 times. I'm there, and I'm like, I'm not saying anymore, but I'm going to be at that launch party. Let me tell you. I'll be like,
are you hiring Bobby? You are too much.
I don't know. So see, you have so many things to hire for. You could totally hire Bobby. He could be like.
Bobby is the man about the world. He travels everywhere. So
see, that'd be perfect for your dating. He could be the community corraller for your dating. He'd be the international man about town. It'd be like, let me tell you.
There you go.
There you go, Bobby. I got your job.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. You guys can find Black Gay Weddings. So first, just go to their Instagram. So it's Black Gay Weddings, and then go to their link in bio. You can submit your wedding, which I think is awesome. You guys can get more information about being a vendor, right? So that they can be an advertiser and vendor with you. Let people know that you are open and supportive of all types of love. And they can also go to your video channel, which again, you need wine, popcorn, and a big box of tissues because and lots of time and nowhere to go. You can't have anywhere to go afterwards. So then you can watch all of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then go to our IGTV page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The
and your what?
Our BGW IGTV page. If you click that little icon that says TV, all the wedding films pop up.
Don't watch that unless you have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere to go, people. Nowhere to go. Lots of tissues, wine, maybe a little cheese with your popcorn. You know.
Right.
There's some tear jerkers on there for sure.
That's horrible. So tempting.
Crime
Okay.
is therapeutic.
Therapeutic. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, sometimes people would come into the office and he'll, why are you crying? Because I'm watching.
I know. The worst. Do you know what the worst is though? When you're watching, and it's like, oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden they just like drop some emotional bomb on you, and you're like, oh my goodness. And it's like, you're like, ah. Yeah, that's the worst.
I'm a sucker for love. What can I say?
Well, that's the best thing to be when you're in this business. So
exactly.
Good, awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I love, like I said, love what you guys are doing. So glad. And whoever, Bobby, I'm definitely watching for your wedding, first of all. And listen,
send us the wedding, Bobby. Quit playing.
Bobby, I want to know. And then also, I'm really looking forward to your dating app and your modeling agency and all of the other things that are coming.
You're gonna be so tired.
I know. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, then you have to watch from the beginning. But yes. Well, thank you guys. I love it, and definitely go follow Black Gay Weddings and be able to love and like all of the things that they have on their beautiful channel. So thank you guys. I love it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right.